Marie Colvin of the United States worked as a foreign correspondent for London's Sunday Times. She and French war photographer Remy Olchik were in the western city of Homs when rockets fired by the government forces hit the house where they and other journalists were staying. CNN's Anderson Cooper spoke with Marie Colvin just hours before she died. Here's how she described the situation in Homs.
This is the worst, Anderson, for many reasons. The last one, I think it's the last time we talked when I was in Misrata. It's partly personal safety, I guess. There's nowhere to run. The Syrian army is holding the perimeter, and there's just far more ordnance being poured into the city, and no way of predicting where it's going to land.
Anderson Cooper joins us live now. And Anderson, listening to that conversation from last night, we were watching here during the program last night and leaning forward to listen to her urgent report because she's so good. Has to be tough to listen to that now, knowing what happened overnight.
Yeah, it's really shocking. I mean, it's you know, her voice, just hearing it again, was always so cool under fire. And even though she had been to so many conflicts and so many front lines, she never lost her humanity and her ability to see with a new way of seeing it, and to bring that humanity to all of us. And I think that's what made her so remarkable. She was such a brave, such a good reporter, but so very human, even in the midst of all this inhumanity.
And I think her experience is important. You mentioned it. She kept her cool. She was always calm. She liked to go where the action was and expose the outrages, if you will. Listen to this part of your conversation where she is talking about the Syrian tactics.
It's a complete and utter lie that they are only going after terrorists. There are rockets, tank shells, anti-aircraft being fired in a parallel line into the city. The Syrian army is simply shelling a city of cold, starving civilians.
Marie Colvin, I know it's impossible to stay safe, but please try. Thank you for talking to us.
Thanks very much, Anderson.
Anderson, two things about that snippet there just jump out at you. One is her direct and straightforward, telling it like it is, reporting, essentially saying what the Syrian government is telling you is a lie. And then at the end there, forgive me, my friend, it has to be eerie. You did the right thing, stay safe. But then when you listen to that today, it gives you a bit of a chill.
Yeah, I mean, she used the word lie, which a lot of people don't use, and I think a lot of people, certainly in Syria and around the world, appreciate the fact that Marie Colvin was willing to use that word when she saw a lie, and that's what she's seen day after day in Syria. The regime is lying about what is happening there, lying about what they're doing there, and the atrocities they're committing there. Yeah, and certainly at the end, I mean, you know, you always sound like an idiot when you're safe here and on stateside and saying to someone in a war zone, you know, stay safe. You know they can't, and she knows you can't. But, you know, she chose to go even though she knew she wouldn't, there was no place to stay safe. And Homs, unlike so many other places, there's no place you can escape to. They're surrounded, and anybody there can get killed. And, you know, one of the things, John, people keep saying she's fearless. And I don't think that gives her enough credit. I think she, like many people who report from war zones, I think she felt fear, but she never allowed fear to stop her from going. And I think that's what makes her heroic, and that's what made her so brave.
It's a very important point you make there, important perspective at the end. We mourn our two fallen comrades, and we also salute the brave journalists at CNN and other news organizations who continue the reporting in such terrible and dangerous conditions. Anderson Cooper, thank you.